Welcome to Zeta Protocol, the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's 51% more dramatic than a Jawa bidding war, 38% more glamorous than a Mon Cala cabaret, and officially entering its showgirl era, whether the meta is ready or not. I'm Egnards, joined by Pico, the sequined saboteur burrito, and tonight the galaxy's feeling stranger than usual. LOM slinks onto the holotables with all the charm of a droid who's seen too much. Quimir lurks in Conquest like he's waiting for his spotlight cue, and CG rolls out a 10th anniversary celebration by dragging the Rancor, Sith Trio, and Hot Tank back on stage for one last encore performance. So powder your datapads, adjust your gear for dramatic lighting, and remember, in this conquest, even the bosses want a standing ovation. Hit play before someone hands Aura Singh a feather boa and calls it balance. Oh man, there we go. Pico, I appreciate you doing this tonight because we are filming a little later than usual. It has been a crazy day for me. I've been up since 7:30 in the morning. It is now 8:30. We are going to be filming for an hour and a half, and then I have a GAC thing after that. I don't think I'm going to bed till midnight. It is going to be hell. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And by the way, man, that was probably the best intro that I've ever heard, man. That was awesome. Like it kept going on. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's great. That's great, man. Phenomenal job with that.
I'm getting
And
better.
I
We're working on it.
I feel for you though. Like long days are miserable. They're not fun by any means whatsoever.
No, any one thing on its own is like, fine, I can do this. This is great. And
Yeah.
like doing this recording is always fun. But when you put all of it together, you go, oh, today is just going to suck.
Yeah. I have an aunt that is in Arkansas, and she was driving to Connecticut because she's taking a cruise over to. Actually, it's gonna be really cool. It's like it's all about Winston Churchill. Long story, but her plan was Arkansas to Columbus the first day, and stay at our house, and then over to Connecticut. And she has made the determination that she cannot make these trips anymore. They are just way too damn long, and it's the last time ever. But it's the same thing. It's like, no, I think I can do this, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, this is I've hit that point. If it's no more, it's never again.
It's kind of like, I mean, I don't know because I don't have kids, but you know how they say, like, there's that time when you pick up your kid for the last time and you never know when it's going to be that last time or that last time you
Yeah,
tuck them into bed. It's like that same idea of you don't know. And one
yeah,
day
yeah,
is the last time you go out drinking at the bar at 4 in the morning and you just don't miss it.
yeah. Or you think it's the last time you do it, and then like 10 years later you do it, and then you're like, oh no, I'm never doing this again.
And then it
Like
happens again, right?
I know this is the last time.
I've I've had that night. I've definitely had that night. When we were in Korea to see my brother, I was very severely jet lagged, and we were supposed to go out to lunch with him. And that night, he was like, "Oh, let's go to Lotte Tower, which is this huge tower there. And oh, let's go to this great Chinese food place. And oh, let's order this Chinese whiskey, a whole bottle of it. And you know what? Let's get another bottle of it." And before I knew it, it was 3 in the morning Korea time, and I've been up 36 hours.
Yeah, yeah,
And it was just a terrible, terrible
yeah.
experience.
It turns out that sleep is a good thing. It helps people function, and who would have ever thought that was the case?
If
So,
only kids realized that, right? Like they hate naps and they just don't get it. They don't understand.
yeah.
We are burying the lead here. I know I brought this up to you earlier. I know you have your thoughts on it, but this has been culminating for weeks. Um, we did a riff on it in Zeta Protocol, and then we did a double down on it. And I feel like this is the trilogy. Life of the Showgirl finally dropped. We had Sarah on; she was very excited about it. We talked about implications. In the 3 hours that I've given you, have you listened to any of it?
So I haven't, and there's a reason. There's a very good reason why I haven't.
Okay.
So I have two wonderful women in my life, my wife and my daughter, and they're very much pop music fans, and I take my cue from them. Like there are a number of things that I probably would have never listened to in life that if they would say you should do this, I will do it. And they both had very lukewarm reactions to to the album, so I didn't feel the need to listen to it.
Okay.
I will also say it's better that I'm just picturing the song about Travis Kelsey's tree than actually hearing it.
You
Like it's
know,
somehow it's better and worse at the same time, you know?
as a cursory fan who does not digest the lyrics in the same way that a lot of the more ravenous fans do. I listened to it the morning it came out because I knew like my wife stayed up late and she listened to it and
Yeah.
I knew she'd ask me about it. So I listened to it on my commute and I don't understand any of the lyrics. I just go like, "Oh, this is a bop, right? Like this is fun." So I'm listening to this song and I'm like, "Oh, that's interesting. She's really into the woods." Like, wow, the redwood trees. Okay, nature. Cool. Imagine my surprise when
Yeah.
an hour later I'm reading on the internet and I go, "Oh, all right, I didn't need that information, but sure. Good for you. Good for you."
Uh, so I do feel the need for a moment. And look, folks, we are absolutely talking in code right now, and just Google it. But um, I will tell you. So the Kelsey brothers are from Cleveland Heights. All right,
Yes.
I know where Cleveland Heights is. I've been in the general area of Cleveland Heights, and it is now more amazingly insane about this gentleman's life. Like no one from Cleveland Heights would ever have expected the most famous pop star in the world would be dating them, let alone writing a song about their manhood. Like it is a true American rags to riches story.
It is definitely something that I never expected. And that is what I will say. Like I've never expected to turn on an album and go, "Oh, like that's what this is about." But again,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm going to say good for you. I know
yeah,
that you have not heard the album. I will say, I think a lot of Taylor Swift fans are maybe a little more disappointed because they read into every lyric. I don't. I just want to listen to something that I can like jam out to the car and like has easy lyrics.
yeah.
It's got bops, right? I don't care if they're the most symbolic ones in the world. There's some songs that I'm like, yeah, I'll listen to this in the car, and that's really all that I need from an album.
Look, people love it, people hate it. Good for her for putting it out, and good for her for actually not making her fans wait. Now, if she could please go on tour, make affordable tickets so that my wife and daughter can go, and we can put that whole thing to bed. Like that would make me happy at this point. So
I have bad news for you. She has said
yeah,
she's not touring anytime soon.
okay,
She said, I think if I were to quote her, it was something along the lines of, "I was just fucking on tour for 3 years. Calm the fuck down."
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
but we'll see.
the, there's probably another piece of it is yeah, I made all of the money once. I don't need to make all of the money twice.
That's true. There's only so many billions that you can have, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And if only I could get some of them. All right, so Star Wars.
Yes.
I will touch on and say Relic Delta. We don't need to talk about it tonight. I am
Nope.
happy. I am unless you have something to say, but I am happy to see the community at least has there's people that are still mad, right? There are people that are still annoyed. We just had our first guild member tell us his intentions of probably quitting in the next couple of days because of it. But overall, I think the panic has mostly died down. Have you noticed that? Like, there's not as much.
Yeah, again, it's interesting when you put your head in the sand. You don't notice it because I don't read Reddit anymore, so I think that a lot of that I'm not hearing. I think that my kind of small echo chamber, call it what it is, we're starting to maybe pivot a little bit to what do plans start to look like? Like I'm
Yeah.
advocating for people like now's the time to start formulating a plan, not the day that Relic Delta comes out. So I think it's a little bit pivoted. You know, it's inevitable. I mean that's I think is the view that a lot of people have. I also think as they tune it a little bit more and more, I think it's going to be an insignificant change in most cases.
I think so. I know. I almost feel like I need one of those Staples easy buttons, right? But
Yeah,
that instead of that was easy, it just copy and pastes me saying, "Hey, it's still in beta. Hey,
yeah,
numbers are still changing. Hey, calm down." And then
yeah,
that would make my life easier.
yeah. We'll see. I think I'm now more into the tell me what the timeline is.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, more than anything. I had someone convince me in the last week that it's probably December, not November, where I had been kind of planning on November, but we'll see where it lands.
I will have you know if you go back to the notes. Well, not the notes because we delete those, but go back to last week's episode. I am almost positive that I told you that it is going to come out right before they leave for December
Yeah,
because they always drop something big and then say, "All right, good luck, bye. It's going to be bugged. Figure it out. Have fun." So that's my
yeah,
conspiracy theory. It's
yeah.
happened the
Uh,
last like 4 years, so I'm expecting it.
Look, man, it's like change control 101. We never do anything before vacation.
Right?
Yet they do it every year.
You would think, and I've gotten to know some of them, and I appreciate them on a human level. But you would think on a company level that you would have like that foresight of saying, okay, we have to release this on this day because we need a week just in case there's anything major coming up. Or even if it's right before the holiday, hey, you four people, we're gonna, volunteers to take these 4 days and we're gonna add it onto your back end or something,
Yeah,
just so that
yeah.
there's somebody in the office.
Uh, One of my customers, and I will save the name, is one of the large, well known national pizza chains, and they go into a change. It's funny, like what you'll hear IT companies talk about change control freeze. We do not make changes during this window. For a lot of places, it's a lot of like retailers. It's right beginning of November through the end of Christmas, and it makes sense. We don't want to take the network down. For them, it's it's January 1st until the first week of February because the most important day of the year for them is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And like so, it's the same thing. Like CG man, nobody wants to the Thursday before Christmas. No one wants to be on a call trying to figure out how we can push this change out because Conquest didn't start correctly.
Yeah.
You know, but they clearly they are making a ton more money in life than I am, so they are doing something right.
That is true. And again, on a human level, I've come to appreciate them. But it does stink when, if something releases buggy, people flip out.
Yeah,
And I try to give the leeway of if it's really that bad, they will take care of it. It can be frustrating at that time of the year when something big happens and we go, all right, well, we got to deal with it for a month because we know it's not going to be taken care of for that
yeah.
month instead of a week. But knock on wood, maybe it is November. We'll see.
Look, every time someone decides to call someone incompetent for a mistake they made, the easy answer to this is just in the back of your head think, like you've never tried to pants gamble and lost. And if you don't know what a pants gamble is, my a good friend of mine used to talk about this is that sometimes when you feel bloated, you gamble and you win. And sometimes you gamble and lose. And if you know, you know. And I'll be honest, I think most people probably know.
I have I have learned. I've thankfully, and I'm a very open person. I've thankfully never lost that gamble. But I have learned that anytime I gamble, I lose. And anytime. Um, I used to. There was a guild member who we used to bet during Lightside Geonosis when combat waves were really important. And I would get 70 to 71 waves out of 71 waves every single
Yeah.
time. And every like fifth event, he'd be like, "Hey man, you want to bet $5 on this event?" And every single time, that was the time that like my Mon Mothma went 0 for 4, my gas went 1 for 4, and I was going 62 for. It was the only time. It was always when I bet with him. So I think he works for CG. CG bobblehead. I just look out for him. He definitely does.
Yeah, awesome.
We have a
So where do we
lot.
want to start tonight? Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
we do have a lot.
that's what I was going to ask you. We have the update, right? Let me pull up our notes. We have the update, which I mean, I guess we should start there because there's nothing too crazy there, but it does kind of lead into what's going on. Uh,
Well, and yes, there's not a lot in the update except this is one of the updates where all of the good stuff is in the data mine because we
yes.
got feats for conquest. We got a bunch of back end information, not necessarily what's directly in the notes. Um,
Yeah, so let's start there. We will read off
yep.
the important stuff, and then I will tell you I did not read the data mines today. I do have the conquest feats. I did read those. I did understand, and we put it into the intro. But I would be curious anything that you saw that I did not see. But as for the update notes right now, we have for LOM's kit, which we will. I think we're gonna we have our normal reads there, and we'll talk about the implications. We have the Strangers kit, which we're gonna go a little bit more in depth into. We have additive drops for Malicos and Admiral Trench, which are coming up. Brutus is now the third out of 4 pirates who are on fleets, and I am personally offended by that. It is pissing me off because now I have to do fleet refreshes in order to get these stupid pirates done on time. Jedi Master Mace Windu additive drops are coming out at the end of the month. Balin Skull is becoming permanent at the end of the month. Um, the bugs, I guess there was an issue with CX2's unique one where Empire allies could not target enemies inflicted with Order 66. Does that sound familiar to you?
I sure okay. Um,
The fights have been doing what they've needed to, right? So I haven't
yeah.
really. The audio files issue has been corrected. I know that that was an issue today for a lot of people. And
Okay.
on Death Star, I think it was, in one of the TB battles, maybe it was
Malachor.
Malachor. Malachor.
Malachor.
So that
Yeah.
should be fixed. Fixed an issue where C linked enemy is killed before the second target is linked. The granted ability will be canceled. I've never had that happen to me, but I guess it was a thing. Um, Fixed a bug where sometimes Galactic Republic allies would receive stealth instead of speed up when an ally is taunting with Master Qui-Gon, which I guess has been
Okay.
happening, but I haven't noticed because, again, the Quadmate team does what it needs to do, right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
So real quick, there's the one thing in there. The issue is seed-linked enemies being killed before the second target is, or wait, so is killed before the second target is linked. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Okay, I was reading that as if the target is if they were linked and one of the target died. Okay, I misread it for a second. And I was gonna. Let's just forget that I was talking. We'll leave it at that.
But I don't even know. I'm sure someone in the comments will tell us. So I'm gonna put this out there because I'm curious. I don't even know what the situation would be where that happens, right? Because he does 2 turns in a row. Uh, what what damage could happen in between those 2 turns?
Uh, so it's something probably to the effect of characters with debuffs, process debuffs or take damage off. Actually, this could be tied to the stranger. I think he's got some weird mechanics in his kit where things
Mm,
happen if people take turns before him or not. So I wonder if it's just not a case of
a preemptive
uh,
fix.
preemptive or it's takes damage every time an enemy takes a turn, so that there's a potential that it takes a DOT and drops them at that point.
Okay.
And then if you can't ever apply the second one, maybe it's a case like it gets you into a stuck situation.
Okay. That
Um,
makes sense.
I'm
We've definitely
guessing at
had
this point.
those.
Yeah.
We've definitely had those in the past. It's always funny, right? I think we talked about this 2 months ago when Maz's kit was out and they were putting in fixes for Maz, and we're like, we can't even play with Maz. So okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always funny when they do those things, but hey, kudos, you fixed it, you figured it out. And if somebody has an instance where this has happened live already, I would love to hear about it because I could not fathom where that comes from. And then the important, not so important. We'll see how what the implications are. Aura Singh's special, the most useless Zeta in the game, is seeing an update. The old final text deals physical damage to target enemy. If the target is toppled, this attack deals 200% more damage, and this ability's cooldown is reset. Only raid bosses can be toppled. The new final text deal physical damage to target enemy. If the target is toppled, this attack deals 200% more damage, and this ability's cooldown is reset. If all allies were non-galactic legend bounty hunters at the start of battle, this attack deals 200% more damage to stunned targets, and this ability's cooldown is reset. So that is an interesting thing to see. And I have the Zeta, so good for me.
So I see this. There are two pieces that
Yep.
I see to this. First is Orison going to become more relevant? Like that's the first one. We'll talk about four in a minute. Um, the 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 piece I'm more interested about is this is the first signal we've seen from CG that they're willing to go back and reevaluate abilities tied to raids that are no longer available.
Yeah,
And does
that's
this
true.
mean we're going to get a reevaluation of the Omicron for Scout Trooper and for whatever the Gungans have it? And I think
I think
there's a
it's
third one.
Phalanx.
Oh,
Scout Trooper, Bosch.
Bosch, yeah. So maybe we're going to get updates to those as well to make them maybe a little bit of an advantage to those.
I would love that. I mean, with the raid Omicrons, Bosch got an update to make it 10. Scout
Yeah,
Trooper, I think it was automatically 10. I can't remember. I know Phalanx's was 10.
yeah.
So it's obviously less than other Omicrons, but I have been a champion of, and I've said this in the past, that all raid Omicrons should transfer over to TB Omicrons after the
Hmm.
raid is over.
Yeah,
Just because it doesn't matter if it's unbalanced. You know, it's PvE. Who cares if it blows everything up? Half of the
yeah.
TB Omicrons already do that.
So, and the question is, and it's funny because I worked on the AI kit read, but I don't really remember any of the details. I don't believe. Actually, we need to come to a clarification on this really quick before I
Okay.
say this. How do you pronounce the new bounty hunter's name?
I've never really thought about it before today.
Yeah.
So to me, I say Forlom.
Okay.
Um, I That's how I'm gonna say it. You can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And I said for Lom, but the same thing. You and I are both in the spell it, no, say it, don't spell it category.
yeah.
So when we get into the kit read, um, on Wikipedia, they have his name listed phonetically, and it's spelled for
Okay.
for it's for LOM. But what's funny is the way it's phonetically done is it's Elum, ELLOUM is the way that, so it'll come up. So the reason why this is going to be, it was going to drive me nuts to this. So, however, you can call it for LOM, for LOM, whatever it is. Uh, I don't believe that there's a stun in his kit.
Okay.
The only stun that I can think of that's generated by bounty hunters right now is Cad Bane. Is that
Maybe does Bosk have a stun on his mass attack?
no? He does
No, he
not.
doesn't.
No.
So I guess I mean it's kind of weird. I think what we should do is I think we should shelve this for now.
Yeah.
Let's
Yep.
do
Yep.
let's
Fair
do
enough.
the Forlom because I think what you're getting into has to do with him. So I think we should shelve
Yeah.
this, do that, come right back to this, and then we can
Yep.
talk about our ideas of team compositions and where we think they are going with this.
and just a little inside baseball for folks that are listening. That was Egnards telling me, "Hey, can we stick to the script and cover this after we read the kit?" That's what that really was. So yeah, yeah.
I don't watch baseball, but I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it.
All right. Because this was my thing. You want me to run with this one?
Yeah, you do this one, and I'll do
Okay.
the long read. You do the
Okay.
easy one. I'll do the hard one.
Yeah. So, all right. So some background here for folks that may have seen it on that are YouTube viewers. I am a Deadhead. I'm a Grateful Dead fan. I'm a fan of jam bands. In fact, I'm wearing a Grateful Dead shirt now. I've probably worn Dead shirts to most of the episodes, which is weird because I normally don't wear them. But where this is coming from is there is a phenomenal Grateful Dead album called Reckoning, which is not a live album in and of itself. It is a studio release live album that instead of it being a full show, it was selected pieces from some sets in San Francisco based around acoustic recordings, and they did this really cool song called Deep Ellum Blues. All right, and Deep Ellum is a place in Dallas. It's a really cool artsy area. I've been there before, way before I even knew this was a song. And where this is coming from in this whole LOM thing is the kind of the chorus of this song is "Oh Sweet Mama, Daddy's got those deep Ellum blues." And I decided we're going to go to the GPT and we're actually going to have them translate this song into a little bit about the newest bounty hunter in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes for LOM. So I'm just going to read you a verse and a chorus and we'll get into the kit.
Are you gonna
But
read it or
because
are
I
you
think
gonna
it's great.
sing it?
Oh, you do not want me to sing this. I was telling my wife about it and she's like, please don't sing. Please do. Remember, this is going to be there forever. So here we go. So when you go down 2-4 Ellum, just to hunt a little prize, you better watch your back, son. He's got heat behind those eyes. He'll track you through hyperspace with Zuckuss by his side. Ain't no use in running when that droid's locked down your hide. Oh, sweet 4 LOM blues, where the credits. Wait, oh, sweet. I don't like that. All right. So, oh, sweet 4 Ellum, where the credits flow and the blasters cruise. You might find fame, you might lose in the rusted grip of the Forlom blues. So, a little bit of a Grateful Dead piece there. What we're going to do for the kit tonight, and I have to move this over so I can actually read it. In honor of this song that is now stuck in my head forever, is we are going to have a Deadhead read us the kit for 4 Ellum. AI read generated from this, so here we go. Um, might get a little bit of the Deadhead sound of this. Oh man, Egnards, let me tell you about the droid I ran into on the HoloNet. His name's 4LOM, and he's like C-3PO dropped acid at a truck stop and never looked back. Like total Jack Straw vibes, you know? Like he used to be a protocol droid, all polite and shiny, but somewhere along the line he rewired himself and started running with bounty hunters. Now he's out there in a galaxy laying down some real heavy grooves of pain, man. All right, so here's the lowdown, brother. Here's where we go. Corrupted transition is his jam, right? It's like a glitchy feedback loop that starts up to, that stacks up to 3 times. First, it messes with your head, then with your health. By the third verse, you're toast, man. It's like the droid equivalent of a bad trip at Terrapin Station. He's got this move called Relative Mercy, which is hilarious because there's no mercy in it. He like shocks you, strips your buffs, then calls the whole band, Zuckuss, Bosk, whoever's on the tour, and they lay down some serious damage. If you're stunned, he drops vulnerable on the whole crowd. It's like throwing a firecracker into a drum circle, man. Right? Then there's Translation Destroy. It's his big solo. Clears up his crew's bad vibes and stops corrupted translation or translation on the whole enemy squad. Can't dodge it, can't resist it. It's like Jerry in 76. You just got to ride out the jam, man. Right? His contract, real space drums type stuff. You got to hit folks who are already twisted up with translation. Do it enough times and boom, everyone's cooldowns reset, the band's back in sync, and the whole crew's riding high in potency. And if Zuckuss is in the mix, oh man, it's like Jerry and Bobby harmonizing. Extra health, protection, and synergy that just sinks. His leader ability, cold calculations, it's like the rhythms of Phil, Mickey, and Bill, keeps the team healthy, boosts their groove, and punishes anyone who tries to mess with the jam. No Galactic Legends, even better. Your crew gets faster, meaner, way more potent. And don't sleep on his override programming. That's where the real weirdness kicks in. He's got this thing where he jumps up on assists, cuts his cooldowns, and rides the turn meter like a cosmic wave. It's like he's got backstage passes to every fight. And that's it. It's it's reverse C3PO is really what it comes down to. It's he's got a translation opposite that effectively does the opposite of everything that C3PO puts in his kit. Um, I think it's really cool that they've got 3 variations of protocol droids in the game, and they all kind of have some weird variation of that translation, mechanic type piece. But that's him.
I think this is a tricky kit because when you read like the actual kit reveal, right? Like his basic is a sentence, and you
Yes.
go in, you go, "Oh, this is really super basic. This is great." And then every time you get through to a next ability, it just gets longer and longer and longer, right? And then you get
Yes.
through and you're like, "Oh, it's not as basic as we think it is." But, going back to Aura Singh with the stunned enemies, he has a similar clause with
Yes.
attacking stunned enemies as well, right? So if the target enemy was stunned, inflict vulnerable on all enemies for 2 turns. So we can actually, because we have this, we can look at swugga.gg just to kind of confirm for ourselves and look at bounty hunters and then look at ability class stun. And we have, that doesn't necessarily mean all of these guys do stun.
But someone did
Um,
well.
so Bosk does. He does on
He does.
his special. I knew I was like, I know I'm right for once. Um, Boba Fett, Scion of Django, does not unless he's in territory wars. Bosch does not. Cad Bane does with the stun gloves.
Yeah.
Um, Dengar does if they have 50% or more turn meter. And it looks like Greedo does too if they are reduced to less than 20% turn meter off of his special. So there are a couple options here when it comes to the stun, but we also have to keep in mind we don't have Zuckus's kit yet.
Yeah. And I am willing to bet credits that Zuckus has a on-demand stun ability.
Yeah.
You know, special to stun target foo, not the Dengar and Greedo one. You can't count on them.
Yeah.
Right now it's Cad Bane and Bosk are the only 2 that you really can. What's funny is on the way most people play bounty hunters with Bosk stun on the mass assist. Normally, you've just hit your payout, which means Brown Mando is going to nuke whoever that character is off the map. So they're stunned for as long as it takes for you to go hit the other button. Um, there are some interesting things in the kit, like as you talk about on special 1 for enemies with 3 stacks of corrupted translation. They get ability blocked for a turn, which is really nice. There's some, again, it's like C3PO. There's some weird negative effects based on the number of stacks. They'll, if they've got 1, this is where he's kind of weird. So receive true damage whenever they deal a critical hit.
Yes.
So I read this as I have put 1 stack of corrupted translation on you.
Yeah.
You attack me, crit, you take true damage.
Yeah. That seems like
So it feels like these are, and yeah, because the next one is whenever this character starts their turn, enemy teams gain 10%, which means you take a turn, I get 10% back the other direction.
that. Yeah. Translation. Let's take a look. We can search and contract translation. Yeah, because you're talking about enemies. Whenever an enemy with corrupted translation. So yes, that's exactly what would happen, and it's a debuff. So yeah,
Yes.
it's exactly.
And
It's just worded. It's not worded weird, but it's worded weird from the perspective of what we'd expect.
I think at least the way that it's a weird way to do, like, especially with the 1 stack, it's a weird way to do reflected damage.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not reflecting damage back to the other person. It's almost like their weapon backfires. Like that's the way that I view that, as opposed to I'm doing damage to you, and it's coming back as a reflection. It's just they're taking true damage based off of whatever it is that they hit me with.
Yeah, and we don't know. I mean, I'm sure we could go in right now and actually check. Like reflected damage is specifically based on the amount of damage done. I don't.
Right.
I have no idea. Like, is this consistent depending on what? Like, you just crit and you take a specific amount of damage, or
Yeah.
you crit and it's based on the amount of damage you do. Again, I'm sure we could go into the code and confirm that. Um, but that could be why it's written in a different way,
Yeah.
um, to kind of limit the amount of damage that is being done. But it looks like he is going to be pretty reliant on stuns.
Yeah.
Aura looks like she is going to be pretty reliant on stuns, right? So we have three, because I feel like there's no reason for them to update Aura Singh's Zeta unless they want her on this team.
Yeah. And
And we need an
if
accuracy down.
the way that I read her kit, if I understand the new special, that special should always be off cooldown, correct?
As long as it's a stunned character, yeah. As long as the team is doing what it's supposed to be doing, it should always be off cooldown. And Forlom needs an accuracy down, so I'm assuming we need Cad Bane in there, unless
Yeah.
Zuckuss also has accuracy down. So that's presumably four characters in the team. What do we
So
think for the fifth?
he, so before I make a
Okay.
suggestion on fifth, if Zuckuss is not a tank,
Yeah.
this is a worthless change.
Okay.
Because the problem with the bounty hunters as a faction right now, there are two tanks in the faction.
Hmm.
One goes with Jabba, and Boss can't go everywhere.
Yeah.
So you in theory you can build super fast teams like Afra that don't need a tank, but they get really dicey that way. I feel like Zuckuss has to be a tank, and now it's what comes in with the rest of them.
Hmm.
Um, I would love it to be Scion, but I'm not sure it is. Is it Boba Fett?
Interesting. That would pull
So
because.
so I I am working under the premise
Mhm.
that all things being equal, Bosk, Grief, Zam,
The Mando team
Mandalorian,
stays the same.
and the Mando team, and Fennec all stay together.
Okay. Because
So
otherwise this
so
is irrelevant, right? Because then you're just
right.
losing four characters to gain instead of.
Yeah, yeah, and again, do we need two bounty hunter teams? Probably not, but again, this is how I want to view it. So now it's the challenge. I think that the challenge is of the remaining bounty hunters. The only two that are good become the two Boba Fett's,
Mhm.
because I think Django has other places,
Okay.
and then like Dengar's okay, but he's got cool mechanics, but he doesn't do anything outside of that. It's not like he really causes damage.
What if,
Um, yeah,
'cause this was my first thought with this team, what if Zuckuss is not a tank, has a GAC Omicron, and Zam Wessel is the fifth? Now you have a dual GAC Omicron team that kind of mirrors a CLS team. And now you're turning this team into like a
yeah,
B plus A minus team, because CLS you don't use all the time, but you still use the team. And with two Omicrons, possibly, because Zam also supercharges the speed of the team.
yeah.
And we're going to be running a lot of turn meter.
So again, I think the definition of the all gas no brake team is Afra in the droids.
Yeah.
Go first and just make sure they never get a turn. So you see this maybe potentially as more of a make Zam super fast, share that speed with everybody, and just start wrecking shop coming
Just
out of it. I mean,
yeah.
if I don't know what the damage modifier is on that aura ability, but if you can, if you're doing 200% damage every time that you take a turn and you can turn over enough turns, that that's going to move quick, you know. I can see that. I can see that. Uh, I don't think it still doesn't. What I wanted out of this, and I think I said this on the last episode, I want a home for Scion,
Yeah.
um, and I don't know if this solved that. Uh,
He's still to me
who
the
knows?
most useless of the
Yeah,
conquest characters. And I know he has his uses in territory wars, or at least he did early on. I don't know if he does now because I don't really engage as much with it. But I thought the cool thing about Cyan was like in some game modes he's going to be with bounty hunters, in some game modes he's going to be with Tuskens, and everybody just kind of
yeah,
forgot that he existed because
yeah,
it was one of those teams that like you could get it to work and you'd be really great if you got it to work, but the investment just wasn't worth it to get him to work.
yeah. And it's a shame because I think his character art I think is absolutely stunning. I
Yeah.
love his that it just I think it looks great. Um, I, I I still want Zuckus to be a tank because I think that you just need that there. But um, yeah, we'll see. Because again, right now,
We're just guessing.
I mean, I guess technically Jabba is a bounty hunter, isn't he?
He is, but everything in the kit says non-galactic legend bounty
Yeah.
hunter, so you're unlikely
Well,
to be putting him there.
I'm looking at it in the like the bane of my existence is in conquest. You know, win 20 battles with this faction
Yeah.
because if you can't build two teams, it takes forever. Even
Hmm.
better if you can build three. Right now, I mean, you can Jabba, Boosh, Chrysanthemum, Embo +1. We'll get you there. You've got the boss team, and I'm not sure that there's like a fifth team that you could put together right now. And I would just love to have, excuse me, a third team of five. I would love to get that third team there. Um,
Is that
it
because
would
I,
just
I
be
haven't
yeah
looked at the feats for this upcoming one yet? Is bounty hunters one of the feats, or you just mean
it's
in
not.
general? Okay.
I it just in general, I'm
Okay.
looking at it, you know, because again, they're bounty hunters, and they're I mean, for the most part, they're all bounty hunters, scoundrels, and smugglers. So you know, they fit a lot of categories on that side, um, somewhat, I guess. Like, yeah, I guess Chrysanthem's a scout. I think they're all scoundrels as well. Uh, yeah, and again, you know, IG-88's got a home with
With Afro.
Afra if needed. Yeah,
I do think with Conquest, you bring up with those 20 when they used to be 40. So some players, I know some
yeah,
players who spend a lot of money and who are very high up in the game right now who don't even realize that there was a time in Conquest when those win with feats were win with 40. And
yeah,
it was always a shitty faction. It was always
yeah,
win with 40 Old Republic. And
yeah,
there's one Old Republic team. So that's
yeah,
10 days right there. Win with 40 with Ewoks, but also Princess Knessa's not there. So
yeah.
good luck, right? Win 40 with Bad Batch, but there's only one Bad Batch team. Um, so there was a time when it was much harder, but I do appreciate when I'm able to organically, if I can organically get those feats to like 15 out of 20, I'm happy because then
Yeah,
I don't have to do a ton of like non-simming. But then there's sometimes like Jedi Vanguard, I unlocked Jedi Mace Windu and I didn't have the modding right, and I just felt like Mace Windu was not doing what he needed to do. So by the end of the last conquest, my Vanguard feat was at like 7 of 20. And it becomes, all right, well, great. Now I have to babysit this battle 13 more times, which sucks. CG, do
yes.
something. Do better on that, please.
Well, and look, I don't know if we want to talk about conquest here or not, but I hope you got a good Quiggle because he seems to be the secret to the next conquest. Um,
Mine is at 2 of 100 right now. He's
Okay.
getting there. I got 2 weeks. I've been doing 2 refreshes a day. And but now Captain Werewolf needs ship energy too. So it's really really stretching my ship energy thin.
Uh, yeah, there's a. It's funny, and when Quiggle released, um, kind of saw this, and but he's got, for the reasons why he's bad in the raid right now is why he'll be good in conquest.
Yeah.
All of his attacks are AEs. He's got defense down on his basic that
Hmm.
will land at least 5 times if you get him a turn. He's got an AE blind, which is great. But he's going to be a very overused character throughout this coming up conquest.
I would say I don't know what your strategy is, but when it comes to conquest, what I like to do is the first conquest in a cycle. I just try to get everything.
Yeah,
Because I mean I know I have a 14 million account and I can do most of the things, but I don't generally have the brand new thing. So I try to get everything, and I'll end around like 610, 620, because of the very few feats that I can't do.
yeah,
And then I kind of decide which two feats were the most pain in the ass for me. Which were the ones that I hated doing the most? I'm not
yeah.
doing those next time. So that has always been my strategy.
So that was the way that I used to do it, and I tried this for all of the Moz ones to be a little bit more efficient because I viewed it as spending the least amount of time.
Yeah.
So like I skipped disarm,
Hmm.
and then in the third one, it was something didn't line up the way that I wanted it to, and I realized if I was just willing to burn a bunch of energy, which sometimes just to get done you burn a bunch of
It's
energy,
worth it sometimes.
you could do it really quick. Like it really wasn't like it was going to be 10 fights. Like you get one with, you just need to make sure that Kersan gets a turn, you need to make sure that Wrecker gets a turn, and so you run two teams to maybe you're farming a node or whatever that is. So I think I'm going to go back to just trying to do things. And then, yeah, to your point, all right, you get all the way through and you're like, for me, it always seems like something in Sector 3 is just like, this is a waste of time. I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And go from there. So, um,
I am looking at this now though, and from an end game perspective, right? Because I know like
yeah,
people give me shit all the time. They're like, "Yeah, but you have 14 million." Just from an end game perspective, in terms of pain in the ass factor, other than the boss feats, which are callbacks to the old raids,
yeah,
which we've kind of found out. Other than that, and whether or not that's going to be tough, it it doesn't look that painful.
no,
There's nothing that I'm like, this is really going to suck. The only thing that I hate, but it's a global feat now, so I don't think it will be as bad, is I hate win after evading 100 times. I hate it.
yes.
It is the worst. It is a pain in my ass. Sometimes I go through an entire sector and I've done three, and I'm like, dude, what the heck? I don't like when feats are reactive. I want them to be proactive, where I can actively participate in getting them. Um, 200 over 5 sectors, I feel like I'll get that without any issues. So I'm not as mad.
Even if it's run a Ray BB-8, a Ray resistance team with BB-8 through the course of that. I mean, you'll pick a lot of those up, but I think that there's so many characters with foresight or something in their kit these days that evading isn't a real big problem to do. So
Yeah, as a
the
global,
big,
shouldn't be bad.
yeah, the bigger one for me is there's only one, win battles with specific faction extra number of times. There's only
Hmm.
it's 20 dark side clones. Um, for if you're willing to burn stamina, um, you can easily, if you have, if you're willing to burn stamina and you have the 4 clones, you can do 10 the first day, and then every time you just cross back over 1% and you've got 20 energy, you can do it again. I mean, it's so it can be burned very very quickly if you want to run through that.
And if you
Um,
look at this, like Sector 3, inflict disarm, right? I know you're not a fan of it, but
Yep.
you have a disarm there on that team.
Yeah.
Also, defeat 35 enemies with clone troopers, so you can overuse the team there. Sector 5, win 10 battles with CX2. So you're going to get to double up a lot there. Looking at this, you might have skipped it. There is a win 20 with Galactic Republic, which is
Yeah.
a good one
That's just one. Yeah.
because that's like a
I,
3 or 4 team thing, and you can knock that out so fast.
look, look, if you've got the Padawan Obi-Wan Omicron,
Yeah.
look, there's a ton of debuffs in this, so you're going to be
Hmm.
using that team a lot. So you'll burn through a lot in that way. Some of these, staggered 60 times, that can suck. Um, 10 battles with full squad of tanks, easy. 10 battles with Brutus surviving. All right. So what's going to be a pain is, so it's 10 with Brutus. The next section, it's 10 with SM33. So you've got, actually, I guess no, I'm sorry. It's 10 in Sector 1 with Brutus. Then it's
Silvo and Vane in Sector
Silvo and
2,
Bane in Sector 2, SM33 in the
Sector
third,
3.
and then 10 with Quiggle. So you're going to have to either be selective with how you're splitting your pirates up, maybe not to the way that we want to do it,
Hmm.
uh, but you'll have to manage that a little bit. Uh, and in 5, there's not. Well,
No,
5
there's
is
win
just
with
10 battles with
pirates.
yeah.
But now
Um,
the thing is, we don't know what the data discs are yet, and if
yeah.
it's things like Amplify Agony, this is super easily cheesed.
Yep.
Like if I'm thinking about Amplify Agony, Sector 1, because my pirates are not great with Brutus. Honestly, I might try throwing 4 clones with Brutus and just see what happens. I don't even care if there's a lead, because in Sector 1 you
Yeah.
can sometimes do weird things like that. And I've done it before. Sector 2, Silvo and Vane, I have to use 2 of them now. It's a little tougher, but hey, you know what? I can get bonus turns with Grand Inquisitor because of his whole thing, and I might just do that with Riva, depending if Amplify Agony is off. I almost never, these survive feats, I almost never do them the way they're supposed to, even if I have the characters, just because I like to double up.
Yeah, and I started playing around with that a little bit the last time where I would have a habit of, there was like, Deepa needs to survive 10 times, and
Hmm.
normally you just start with kind of like the base team, like, well, no, stick her with uh, General, or Grandmaster or Jedi Master Kenobi, and stick her with Jedi Master Luke, and you can get 10 right there. And
Yeah.
she's a Jedi, so that she gets all of the advantages from that side.
Last Conquest, because of Zealous Ambition, I was running 2 Zealous Ambitions, and I was doing Leia and Captain Rex.
Yeah,
And with 2 Zealous Ambitions, Captain Rex deletes shit. He just, with his AoE,
yeah.
everything's dead. So that's what I was doing in sectors. I was like, you know what? I have like Crosshair, but I'm just gonna throw him in with my Leia team, because then my Leia team can do things, and I can get that at the same time. I want to be done as soon as possible.
So I will likely not build a loadout for the globals this time,
Yeah, I
because
don't
I
think you
I
have to.
expect I think you just pick up the globals just playing the game.
I think so. And the first time through, I would do that, and then maybe depending on the teams you're using, you might have to focus on evasion down. But that depends on the
Yeah,
teams that you're doing. And if you get through the first one and go, oh, I didn't need to, then you don't have to worry about it after that. And it's
yeah.
not a hard thing to get at the end of the day. Depending on what you have. I can't remember if Padawan Obi-Wan gives evasion down or not.
He
Because
does.
there's a few. Boom. Then that's easy.
He gives every buff and every debuff. It's You've just got to know how to manage keeping things alive. Like, so I always run uh, Barris
Yeah.
and Luminara with him, because they both have non-damaging attacks.
Yeah. I was doing that with like Hermit Yoda last time and
Yeah.
just
Yep.
like doing whatever. I do think that there's like 2 or 3 debuffs he doesn't have though, because I think that was something people were causing a stink
Okay.
with in the last conquest cycle. They were like, oh, Padawan Obi-Wan's like, they specifically picked these ones that he can't do. They weren't
Yeah.
hard to do. I mean,
Yeah. Like, he doesn't do fear. He doesn't do fear. He doesn't do torture. He doesn't do disarm.
Yeah, there
It's
was
the
a couple.
standard ones that are kind of
He
across
does
the board
pretty
that
much
people
all of them.
randomly have. Yeah.
We do have one more thing that we have to get to beyond conquest, which is the stranger.
Yes.
Um, we are, we kind of went back and forth. We are going to read this one straight, or maybe not so straight if you've seen his ass before, but we're going to go through it just because I said this to you. It's a very strange kit. It's a very
Yeah.
different kit. I'm kind of scared in a remembering when Jedi Revan came to the game kind of way, where it just changed the game on how they had to do kits, and I'm like, is that what's going to happen here? Because this is kind of silly. Um, but we can talk about it after. We have the stranger, our first, possibly only, but unlikely character from the Acolyte. As you were saying before, he is, I don't remember the character's name, but from The Good Place, the wacky dumb guy. Um,
Jason Mendoza,
Jason.
or
Jason.
or for those who are fans of the show, Jake Jordals. He was
There you
Jake
go.
Jordals.
He did really great in Freakier Friday. He played it straight in Freakier Friday. I was very impressed. Most people say that it is the one good thing that came out of the Acolyte. We will see if this expands on it. But the unit name, the Stranger, alignment is dark. He is an attacker, a leader, and a Sith. We're not really, I don't really care about the key attributes or strategy tips. We know he's being unlocked in Conquest. His basic is Peace is a Lie. Final text: deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all debuffs on the stranger. During his turn, gain 50 speed the first time this ability is used, and +1 speed, +1 per relic amplifier level, max 10, each subsequent use, stacking to 50 triggers. So that's an interesting thing right there. It's not 50 additional speed. 50 triggers times potentially 10 is potentially 500 extra speed that he is getting. And I don't know if that counts the gain 50 from the first time or not. So 500 to 550 additional speed for the rest of the battle, and alert for 1 turn, which can't be copied. During his turn, if the stranger has 250 speed more than the target enemy, instantly defeat the target enemy once per battle, which can't be evaded. You look like you have thoughts there.
So all right, I want to make sure that I understand this. He first turn uses his basic. He gains
50 speed.
61.
Oh, yeah, that's
Uh,
true. Yeah.
61 speed. We'll say he comes out and you max him to Relic 10 because Relic 10 is a thing now. He gains 61 speed.
Well, actually, it says gain 50 speed the first time and +1
Yep.
for each subsequent use. So first time it'll be 50. Then it'll be the extra 10. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because it says subsequent use. So I'm assuming unless it's broken.
Well, okay, so it's 50 the first time, and then potentially up to 11 speed per use,
And
because
what?
it's
Yes.
one plus
Plus,
every relic level, and we have to count on Relic 10 as a thing now.
though
Wait,
it
I'm
says,
sorry. No, max level, max 10.
yeah, it says
Yeah.
max 10. So I guess this maxes out at relic 8, right? Because it's +1 plus, no, relic 9, because +1 plus 9 would be 10. So at
Yes.
relic 10, you wouldn't get anything additional from this.
Yeah.
Still insane.
I,
And
I
only on his
immediately
turn.
looked at yeah, and I immediately looked at it in the context of, because I know that there are like 3 or 4 kits that have something tied to relic levels, and it says like
Yes.
max 10, which yeah was always a thing. So okay, so in to your point, potentially 500 speed, but the second he in this 250 speed thing is going to matter later in the kit.
Yeah.
The second you're more than 250 speed, one, is there an indicator, and if you use a basic, they're just dead. They're
They're
just
just
gone.
dead. But it says once per battle. So
Yes.
it'll auto kill one character. And I have a feeling by the time you've used this ability enough times, you've probably won anyway.
Yes.
But at the same time, you might be fighting a much slower team. So like a Seer Malikos team, which is generally slower. Maybe this will come up really fast. Um, our first special, an acolyte kills the dream. Final text: deal physical damage to target enemy, and the stranger gains perfect defense for one turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. Call all Darkside unaligned Force user acolyte allies to assist. Gain 50% max health the first time this ability is used, and 5% max health each subsequent use, stacking unlimited for the rest of the battle. Inflict all enemies with tenacity down for 2 turns, and all enemies with less than full health are exposed for 1 turn. If there is only one enemy remaining, the Darkside unaligned Force user acolytes instantly defeat target enemy on assist once per battle, which can't be evaded. It's interesting that it's once per battle if there's only one enemy remaining. While in Grand Arena, and if all allies are acolyte, if all enemies have fallen below 100% health at least once this encounter, the stranger gains massively overpowered for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. If this ability defeats an enemy, revive all acolyte allies, then all acolyte allies recover full health and protection. Now we're talking about acolyte allies, and I do think somewhere in here we allude to that. I thought I
It's
saw.
a condition that they earn.
Okay, all right. So it's not. I was like, is somebody getting new tags? All right. So we'll get into that then.
Yep. Yeah.
Um. Okay. Now the interesting thing that I'm reading with this kit, it says if all allies are acolyte. I guess maybe he can gain acolyte because it doesn't say if all other allies.
So very simply, acolyte is the same. If you have a team built in the same fashion that the Starkiller team is built, so Jedi, Sith,
Okay.
dark side unaligned Force user, light side unaligned Force user. In this case, you need 2 dark side unaligned Force users. We'll talk about why coming up.
Okay.
If you match that condition, everyone on the
Everybody's
team gets the
acolytes.
acolyte status.
Okay. All right. All right. So special 2, was that its name? Uh, Note, the first part of this GIF is the special 2 animation. Okay. Um, Final text: deal physical damage to target enemy, and the stranger gains retribution for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled or prevented. Stun the target enemy for 1 turn, and if all allies are acolyte, stun the weakest enemy for 1 turn, which can't be evaded or resisted. Gain 50% defense penetration the first time this ability is used, and 5% defense penetration each subsequent use, stacking unlimited for the rest of the battle. This attack ignores protection. All other acolyte allies gain 10% turn meter. If this ability is used a 3rd time against the same opponent this encounter, then instantly defeat the target enemy once per battle, which can't be evaded. If this ability instantly defeats an enemy, all enemies are demoralized for 2 turns, which can't be copied, dispelled, evaded, or resisted. Um, so I know that the big thing, and I haven't read the uniques yet, but I know that the big thing is these 3 insta kills
Yeah.
without. You know how sometimes we get a kit and we're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing, this is gonna be amazing, this is gonna be amazing, and then we play the kit and we go, oh. My example would be like Ahsoka. She had all of these like anti Sith things, all these anti this character things, all these anti that character things. All this does damage on different things, and we thought that all
Yeah.
of these different characters would be destroyed by her. Um, and it didn't turn out as exciting. I just have a feeling that with cooldowns of 5 and cooldowns of 5 and how much speed, I just have a feeling that these instant kills are not going to be battle deciders, if that makes sense.
So I see them closer to the random death mark on Jar Jar.
Yeah.
It's gonna come up every once in a while, but it's not going to, because I mean some of these are, they all take
A
time
while.
to reach.
And by the time you reach that, I feel like you've already won the battle in
Yes.
most cases.
Yes. The the biggest thing about this team is this will never be a timeout team,
Yeah.
because eventually if you do not take care of them in the
They are going to
fourth minute,
build.
they're going to just start
Yeah.
deleting people from the board.
Yeah. I can see that. Definitely. Definitely. Screw you, GL Hondo. He's coming for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yep. That's actually a great example. Man, how funny would that be?
I think,
Um,
I mean, I'm saying it right here. Episode 9, I think this is 9. So go back to it later once he comes out in 3
yeah.
months. We're all excited now, and in 3 months we'll see. Unique 1, you might call me Sith. Final text. The stranger has 35% offense. The first time each enemy damages the stranger, excluding summoned units, he gains 100% turn meter. Okay, so he will gain turn, not bonus turns, turn meters. So that's interesting.
Yep.
Whenever the stranger uses an ability, he deals bonus true damage to target enemy equal to 10% of his max health if he has taken a turn before his enemies. This bonus damage value is reset on each enemy whenever they start their turn. Whenever the stranger uses a special ability, he calls himself to assist and gains Cortosis armor. So if he calls himself to assist, you don't actually have to really use his basic, right? Because he'll be using his basic on his own turn,
Oh,
right?
that's stupid.
His basic is on his
Yeah,
own turn, so he
yeah,
should be getting those
yeah.
bonuses no matter what. Um, while
Not
this,
not not to
yeah,
mention that you said it, but I want to pull on it. The first time each enemy damages him, he's going to get 100% turn meter, which means it, one, don't ever AE, and two, in theory, there are 5 places of 100% turn meter gain
Mhm.
on the board for him.
Yes,
That's enough to refresh one of those uniques.
yeah. So he's gonna ramp his speed a lot
Yeah,
quicker than I anticipated, and that's why I
yes,
stipulated before. Hey, I haven't read the unique yet.
yeah.
He'll gain whenever the stranger uses a special ability, he calls himself to assist and gains Cortosis armor, which can't be copied for 1 turn, or until he is damaged by an enemy ability, which can't be copied. Um, while the stranger has Cortosis armor, he is immune to turn meter reduction. While in Grand Arenas, whenever an enemy attacks the stranger from an assist, the stranger gains a bonus turn. Okay, so the stranger gains a bonus turn at the start of the encounter. The stranger can't have his speed reduced below his base speed for the rest of the battle. The first time the stranger is reduced to 25% health, he equalizes his health and protection with the strongest enemy. Whenever the stranger uses an ability, he deals bonus true damage to target enemy equal to 10% of his max health for each turn he has taken before his enemies, which can't be evaded. This bonus damage value is reset on each enemy whenever they start their turn. Cortosis armor. If this character is damaged by an enemy ability while they have this effect, the enemy who damaged them loses all of their protection and 25% speed for 1 turn. Does not stack with speed down. So in Grand Arena, he is going to be taking turns pretty damn quickly to be able to ramp this shit up.
Yes. By the way, you're talking about like Sir Malikos. What do you do with slow teams like that? Slow teams like that are going to get eaten alive because he's going to get what 40-50% true damage. So
Yeah.
let's, for a second, I want to see something, and I'm not smart enough to do this, so I have to go to Copilot. Uh, what is a 25% reduction on 350 speed? So that's saying 262.
Okay.
Okay. So he has an ability in his kit that they are 250% or the 250 speed faster.
Mhm.
We'll say he's going to start at three. We'll say he's slow. He starts at 300 speed.
I think
All
he's
right.
going to be slow. Yeah.
So we'll start. We'll say best case scenario, you get him up to about 300 speed to
Okay.
start. That means you need to get the basic off about 5 or 6 times before you're auto deleting someone because of the 250 speed difference, and that's going after some of the fastest characters in the game from that
Yeah.
side. If you look at an attacker that sits around 320 speed, that drops even further at that point.
Hmm.
So that 250 speed, it seems like a big number, but it's really not when it's all when you immediately cut 25% off the board.
Hmm.
Uh, what
Just from that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll hold it. I have a couple of other thoughts. I'll hold on to them,
Okay.
but that's I wanted to run that math there really quick. So
So then we have our leader ability. Final text. All allies gain 50% accuracy. Whenever an enemy attacks out of turn, reduce the cooldown of was that its name by 1. 2 if the enemy was a Jedi. So that is his second special.
yep,
Um, At the start of battle, if there are no Galactic Legend allies, and the stranger has exactly one Jedi, one light side unaligned Force user, and two dark side unaligned Force user allies, all allies gain the Acolyte tag, and the following effects are active. Whenever an ally attacks out of turn, reduce the cooldown on an Acolyte kills the dream by 1. That's his first special. Whenever an ally has a buff dispelled, the enemy that dispelled it can't recover health or protection for 1 turn. At the start of each turn, allies have a 100% critical chance while they have protection. Otherwise, they have a 100% defense. Whenever a dark side ally is inflicted with a debuff, the stranger and the light side allies gain 10% turn meter once per turn. Whenever a light side ally is critically hit, dark side allies gain 10% turn meter once per turn. Whenever an ally assists, dispel all debuffs on the ally they are assisting. Whenever an ally Whenever an ally counterattacks, inflict the target enemy with defense down for 1 turn, once per turn. While in Grand Arena, whenever an Acolyte ally counterattacks, inflict the target enemy with armor shred for the rest of the encounter instead, once per turn. Whenever an enemy is fractured, all enemies lose 100% turn meter, which can't be resisted. Whenever an Acolyte ally takes damage from an enemy on consecutive turns, they gain a bonus turn. Whenever this bonus turn occurs, that ally can't gain another bonus turn this way until taking damage from an enemy on consecutive turns again. Enemies deal 35% less damage when attacking an Acolyte from an assist. In 3v3, if the team includes two Darkside unaligned Force users, this will fulfill the conditions of the Acolyte tag. Now, I see in the FAQ, it says something about why is there a reference to Fracture in his kit. I mean, Stranger is taking Emperor Palpatine's spot in Starkiller's squad, so there must be someone else coming to slot where Mara Jade used to be. Okay, so whoever is being put in that slot is going to have a fracture.
yes.
This team is insane.
So to understand the acolyte team makeup, because it's different than Starkiller for a reason.
Yeah,
So Starkiller is Sith, Jedi, light side, dark side, unaligned Force user.
yeah,
The team makeup in Starkiller is actually Sith, Jedi, light side unaligned Force user, and two dark side unaligned
yeah.
Force users because Starkiller himself is a dark side
Is the dark
unaligned
side.
Force user. The way this makeup is done, because it requires two dark side unaligned Force users, is this forces a team comp that also allows Starkiller to meet his requirements in GAC as well.
Yeah.
You are getting the ridiculousness of this kit plus the ridiculousness of Starkiller's kit when it's all said and done.
This is a 6 Omicron team. It is
Yes.
at least, at least, it is going to be nasty.
Yes.
It is going to be insane. I I mean, who knows, right? But I almost feel so Starkiller his in the beginning it kind of worked on defense and then people figured it out and then it was
Yeah.
mostly an offense team. I kind of wish that they put more in here that would push this to only being an offense team because I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to just throw it on defense and say fuck you, that's why.
Yeah. Uh,
And I'm worried.
so two things to that point. One, um, Hondo is still the fastest character in the game,
Yeah.
no matter what happens, and Hondo still deletes a character on his first turn.
Hmm.
So again, see how things play out. But I can and if you want to tell me a Galactic Legend, trading for a conquest character is a win, but in theory, Hondo deletes the stranger on the first turn, and that team is wiped off the map. Uh, what's interesting about the I at least what I see the mechanics of this team versus the Starkiller is Starkiller needed a tank, so he had time to ramp to get the ship and do
Hmm.
damage.
Yeah.
This team does not need a tank because there's so much turn meter built into whoever you attack. Someone's getting turn meter coming after it
Hmm.
on that side. Um, the big question is, well, it's going to be a light side online force user. No, I'm sorry, it's going to be a dark side online force user
To take Mara Jade.
to take Mara Jade's spot, um, which I think the two leading candidates are Plagueis or OSHA. So there, for anyone who didn't watch the Acolyte, there were twins. Spoiler: there were twins. There was May and there was OSHA. Um, and honestly, it's been so long since I watched it because I think they also flipped some things around. But one of them ended up good. One of them ended up evil. Is the way
Yes.
that it worked.
Yeah.
Um, and I think OSHA is the one that ended up evil. Um, I was advocating that it was Moesha today from the '90s TV show. Um, I I don't think it's Plagueis because
Well, he's
I
Sith.
think Plague.
He's got to be Sith.
You're
You
right. He
can't
is
bring
Sith. Yeah,
Plagueis to
he's
the
Sith. Yeah,
game and
you're
he's
right.
not
You're right.
Sith.
He's Sith.
I
Yeah,
will
he's Sith. Well,
riot. And I don't give a
yeah,
shit about lore. I will riot.
yeah. You're right. You're right. I probably should have pointed that out when someone asked me if I thought it was going to be Plagueis, and my immediate thing was like, no, if they're going to bring Plagueis, then he's going to be a Conquest Plus character or something different. He's
Yeah.
not going to be a marquee. This will be marquee character one in January. I think is who comes into this spot.
Now, I because I don't have Hondo yet, and that
Yeah,
means you know how like you don't read the kits, but then you get a feel for it. Does
yeah.
Hondo can he get around taunt on his first turn?
So yes, he
He
has
can.
an ability. Actually, he gives an ability to the team called Lightning Dash, which allows them to ignore taunt on their first turn.
Okay.
So
Well,
kind
I'm
of
talking
the
about the
way that
first turn delete.
yeah. So it everybody gets Lightning Dash. So the way it kind of the team kind of works is on each character's first turn,
Okay.
they can ignore taunt. So Hondo takes his first turn, ignores taunt, calls everybody to assist, which is really SM33, and they wipe something off the map. Then SM33 gets his first turn. He gets to ignore taunt, uses the first special, and deletes someone else off of the map.
Now, do you think with like if let I mean I'm just what are they
Yeah.
saying? They're saying the modding should be speed and crit chance. I does he need crit chance? I feel like he doesn't need crit chance, but whatever. We'll find that out later. If we were to say presumably mod this guy who with all of the assists is taking 35% less damage and all of the other shit going on with him, Hondo goes first. Do you think there's a chance that he survives that or no?
I don't know. In
I guess what I'm wondering is if this is going to be one of those off and on things like Executor Profundity used to be, where if you take Hondo on offense, he'll destroy this team, but then Hondo on defense will auto target something stupid, and this team will beat it on defense.
Yeah, probably. The for me the big question is like they're saying speed, so is he going to be 400 a 400 speed conquest character with a full speed set, or is he going to be 340 and you're putting 180 speed set on him to get him there because he's starting slower than
Yeah, because
Kanan?
he's starting slow.
Yeah. Um, you know, I again need to understand what that fifth slot is going to be, but I see this is really two pieces. It's look, Starkiller is now dangerous.
Yeah.
So, and look, if you look at the leader ability, the first two bullets in the leader ability.
Yep.
So that is whenever an ally attacks out of turn, reduce cooldowns if an acolyte kills the dream by 1. And whenever an ally has a buff dispelled, the enemy that dispelled it can't recover health or protection for 1 turn.
Hmm.
Those are two very specific calls out to Starkiller because he has a built-in counter,
Yeah.
and he's got an ability that rips. It's what the first special rips buffs off of everything. So, is it you likely got to get one of the two of them off of the map,
Yes.
and then you've got to deal with again. It's what do you do with Visas because she can then bring somebody back to life, which is going to be a challenge. Um, the Jedi's never going to be good on that team because there's just not a good Jedi to put there. And then what is this dark side character? For all we know, it is going to be a tank, and they're just that's going to be like the big double middle finger. Um,
Because I
the
mean, just going back with like I'm looking at Starkiller's kit here, and he gives his team 100% max protection, and I'm like, I don't know, I
Yeah.
just I'm stuck on this because I'm it just this team looks so silly, and I am just very scared of it being a defensive team, and being the next Ray Ezra Ben.
So I get that. My counter to that is the last two teams that kind of came out of a conquest that we thought, oh, this is going to be dumb.
Yeah.
I would say is Malgus and Balin.
Hmm.
And it was funny when you said Balin was going accelerated. Uh, Balin's a good team, but he's not unsolvable.
Yeah.
Uh, Malgus Malgus had two really good counters that put him on defense as long as you plan for him. He wasn't that hard to work your way around. Um, I just I I'm not going to panic until I see it.
I'm not gonna
And
panic, but I am concerned, I guess is what I would say. I'll have them, so I don't give a shit.
I mean, look, there's nothing in his kit that stops Jedi Master Kenobi.
Except the because that was my first thought, right? With well, because he stops turn meter, right? Because
Yes,
Kenobi
but
stops turn. No, I mean Kenobi stops turn meter because there's a lot of
yeah,
assists on that team, and he's
yeah,
very anti-assist. So I wonder how that's
but
gonna work.
if there's no taunt on the team, you're
Then
going
you
to
can,
have a taunt on the team. Then you leap it. Otherwise,
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
you're just racing to a short leap, to a short alt leap.
That's true. That's fair.
The
That's fair. This could be a new use for Kenobi, who's kind of fallen out of vogue.
like this is the weird place the game's in right now is that when there's 10 galactic legends, like you're gonna reset the way people think about things. Like, look, galactic legends are just going to be designed to take out overpowered Omicron teams.
Yeah,
Like that's what that's kind of what they're coming down to. So yeah, if if I have to keep Kenobi on offense all the time to deal with this guy on defense, more power
Then
to it,
fine.
because he's not going
Okay.
on defense anymore as it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
He's your Swiss
now,
Army
now,
knife.
now, watch. It's going to be a dark side unaligned force user tank
Tank.
with that's a replica of Dark Trooper Moff Gideon's kit where he's got an undispellable taunt and he revive they'll do something silly, but
This
it,
taunt
it,
is sticky, and you can't avoid this taunt. And
yeah,
anybody who has, they're gonna start having levels, right? Like a level 1 taunt avoid can't take out this taunt,
yeah,
and
yeah,
then the
yeah,
next kit's gonna be like a level 2 taunt of. I'm not giving them ideas. Never mind. CG, don't listen to me.
yeah.
We're gonna see. We're gonna find out. We'll see what happens with the stranger. We've got 3 months to be excited and let that excitement fade and then wane and then go away and then come back up right around, what is it? This is mid-October, so November, December, right in mid-January
Yeah.
when we see him. Um, I think we've gotten through anything. Do you have any other thoughts on the stranger?
I don't. I do hope that we don't see the marquee until January, and
Yeah.
it becomes a case of the team kind of comes together at the same time. At the same time, no idea what this is going to look like until he's released. There's nothing preventing you. Oh, there are two things. One, there's nothing preventing you from putting Mara Jade on this team because she is an
Hmm.
unaligned force user and she works. The I am more interested to see what's happening with the Empire parts because right now, endgame meta, you have everything. People are holding on to Palpatine, Vader, Mara Jade, and Royal Guard.
Yeah.
That there, I think
We're gonna get
it
something
to
there.
me feels like something's in there.
Yeah. Which is a very OG team to kind of put
Yes.
together. Like, all right,
Yeah.
Mara Jade, maybe not so much, but she still is pretty early EU. Um, I would like to see something there. I know when Ahsoka came to the game, I was very much on the GL Thrawn train, and a lot of people
Yeah.
kind of talked me off the ledge and said, no, because the movie hasn't come out yet, they're going to wait one before the movie comes out. Is there going to be something there? We have some historic look at marquees for a new GL, not necessarily being for the GL, and
Yeah.
the team could use a lot of old assets on top of new assets. But we're just going to have to wait and find out.
Yeah. It look, the new movie does come out in May. So do we see something that time frame? The other question I have, we've never gotten another Vader in the game,
Yeah.
but we have gotten two changes to Vader in the life cycle.
Hmm.
Do we get another change to Vader to make him a more meta defining character?
Yeah. I would almost, I know it's not as player friendly, but I would almost rather see them say, all right, we're doing another Vader.
Yeah.
Just like, I get it. It would be more friendly for them to do a rework. I apologize for the hundreds of thousands of people who have Vader. I would almost rather them just say, we're doing Vader again. It's the same one. Don't worry about it. But it's going to be
The
better this time.
the problem with Vader is actually it's the most awesome thing about him. You buy the Vader Star Wars figure when A New Hope came out,
Yeah.
and you never have to buy another one again because he's never changed the
He's
look.
always the same.
It's always the same. Like you know, maybe you throw a shield on him from the one image from the front of the comic book, which would be dumb. But like, you can't like create Galactic Legend Darth Vader and like how do you make it look different outside of like just put the word badass
Yeah.
over the top of him. You know?
And we'll come full circle here and say that, however, just like Taylor Swift with her 8 different vinyls that come out with each and every album, Mattel and Hasbro and whoever had the rights at whatever time, they found a way to sell you the
Yeah,
same
they did.
Vader
They did.
over and over again.
Yeah.
So we were dumb kids.
Marketers are good at their jobs.
They figured it out. With that said, this actually, I think I'd have to check. I think that this comes in at our longest episode, so not good on us trying to hit the 1 hour mark. But we don't go the craziness, so I'm still okay with it. Um, we are looking at Delta at some point in the near future. We'll see what happens with that. I got nothing else to say. Do you have anything?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. So then, with that said, this has been Zeta Protocol. I don't know. I hope you enjoyed it. If you don't, I don't know why you listened till the end.
Yeah.
But enjoy your commute and peace out, guys.